Hi there, welcome along to the evening show. On the programme this evening we'll be talking to Chris Sanford and Allan Miller, who'll be telling us all about inner metrics and explaining how it works. Also, we'll be going wine tasting with Olive. Lots to come on the evening show. Now, as a full-service consulting firm, Inner Metrics helps companies to improve their overall health and profitability. And to tell us all about it, how it works, all the ins and outs, are two of the gentlemen who are involved. Chris Sanford, consultant and an old friend of ours, and Allan Miller. Allan Miller is the managing director. Chris,
Hi.
You better explain why you're here without your uniform on.
Olive's done me out of a job, Jimmy. She's become so good and proficient at what she does. Yeah, a lot of the regulars would see me cooking with Olive, and we had such great fun with that. But basically, my involvement now with Inner Metrics is a fantastic thing, and it's a new thing, very dynamic, that's come to Ireland. And the whole thing about Inner Metrics is really identifying the main ingredient in any business. It's your staff, and how to develop, retain that individual, and how to identify their actual talent.
Which is very important for your business as well.
Absolutely. Well, the hospitality business, Jimmy, 1 in 10 people globally are employed in the hospitality industry. And right now in Ireland, people are now much more focused on the talent that they have there. Unfortunately, they don't really have any tools that can really identify that to the level of Inner Metrics can. And that's why I've become so involved in it. And with the help now of Allan, who has a fantastic background in the whole area for many years, it's something that's very exciting that we're bringing to Ireland.
Okay, Allan, you're the CEO, so we get you to flesh out Inner Metrics. What exactly does it mean?
Inner Metrics is a company, it's been around for just over 10 years. It's run by, it's in America it started, a chap called Jay Niblick's the CEO there. I'm the actual MD of the UK and Europe scene, which I've known Jay for about just over 9 years. And we're in different countries all around the world, from Australia to South America to Europe. And we're delighted to have Chris Sanford just been a strategic partner back here in Ireland. He's just joined us with it, and there's some exciting stuff that we've already looked at for businesses such as a hospitality area that Chris has got a great standing within Ireland itself. And to bring another business string to his bow with regards to development of people, or identifying talent within organisations, or helping organisations look at cultural change, look at retention, look at recruitment, look at different things on leadership. That's a hot potato right now within business. We can assist and help companies look at different things that are happening within the current economic climate.
Right.
And there's a lot of things happening there with regards to people being made redundant, displacement or outsourcing. And it's tragic that a lot of different companies are going to go through these times. What we can offer companies is a unique view of, well, where is your talent within your organisation and how do you know? We can measure that in a lot of different ways.
And are we talking about everything from a small restaurant up to a large corporate affair?
Yeah, we've got a great client base from some of the small, medium-sized businesses to some of the blue-chip companies globally, as big as Coca-Cola. Anthony Robbins is one of the coaches that we do on a global basis. Jay Niblick actually does his company with a lot of different methodologies and business offers. And any business that needs particular assistance with their people, we can actually assist them in a lot of different ways on finding out just exactly where your talent is and how do you know, how do you apply that for you to have fulfillment within your job or life.
So a company rings you up. What happens next? You come in and you just do a situation analysis, time and motion of the whole thing, and watch people at work, do you? You spy on people, do you?
I've never been doing that. Is that what you do in Ireland here? I don't know. That's good, yeah. What we actually do, Jimmy, is that we speak to the sort of stakeholders or the people who are running the business because they know their business, they care about their people, and they care about their clients or customers who come to them for services. So we understand the business first, and we look at there's a thing called an organisational health check. It's a bit like going to your doctor and saying, there's something wrong with me. Yeah. And they might give you an MRI scan. And they'll give you a diagnosis in terms of, well, there's certain things you've got to do for that. We do a similar thing for an organisation. And we can pinpoint some solutions that they may have not have looked at before.
You look at the whole organisation or just the people in it?
OK, what happens is, great question, you've got let's look at the stakeholders. Let's look at the boardroom within an organisation, first of all. We can get them engaged and look at a health, an organisational health of their business. And we can do that in a number of different ways, and we can then go back and look at some of the outcomes of those discussions and of the methodologies we put in place for them to come to that state of the organisation in marketing or operations or leadership or whatever it may be. We measure 11 core areas of an organisation's health. And then we can make some solutions with regards to where's the best way forward for the company to make the best leadership, the best teams, the best communication, the best customer service, loyalty, etc., etc., etc.
Do you have to be nasty in this business, though, Chris? I mean, do you have to walk in and say to a guy, I think you should downsize your restaurant, you have too many chefs or whatever? Is it like that?
Well, it could be a bit like that, because obviously you've got to cut your cloth to make it fit. And in these current economic times, unfortunately, people are being let go. But how do you know what person to let go?
Yes.
I mean, it's really difficult. And sometimes, your heart can rule your head. But, as a business, you have to make calculated decisions. Inner metrics can really help you with all of that and identify what drives an individual, why they do what they do, and how you can best coach that person to get the absolute best from your business. So you can see how crucial it is to any organisation.
Is there an online aspect to this as well, Alan?
Yeah, we've got some tools that we use that are, you can go online. It's 24/7 IDS, so globally you could use this as a tool for any person within the organisation to take a couple of profiles or a couple of diagnostic tools. Those things come back, and we do an awful lot of research and analytical stuff. When we go back to the organisation, we give some solutions, some value of where to start first. It's a bit like that MRI scan. If you say, I've got a really sore arm, but the MRI says your heart's going to give way, then you're going to start with the heart. Where are you bleeding first? What's your most critical issue? And you'll start first on looking at what that is.
And when you're looking at the staff in a situation, are you looking at their personalities, their traits?
There's a couple of things here. We're looking at 3 distinct areas. Yeah. You've got someone's behaviour, what you do naturally, behaviourally. People do best what comes natural, right? Yeah. So how do I know where your natural talent is? Well, we can identify that through a behavioural report.
How do you frame those questions? I'm trying to get an idea of the kind of questions that I see.
Sure, yeah. We phrase questions, and it's like, is that person outgoing? Are they gregarious? Are they interactive? Do they like people? Do they like systems? Do they like processes? Are they working well with teams? Do they like rules? That's the idea. And then they put themselves in not a personality, because what we don't do, Jimmy, we don't put people in boxes. That's one thing we don't do. Yeah. We believe you can't measure someone's personality. It's too complex. What we can measure is observable behaviour on a natural and adapted level. But we want to find out naturally where your behavioural talents are. But we go a bit deeper than that. We actually say, OK, what drives you out of bed in the morning? We look at the value structure of that individual. What's the belief and attitudes towards what they do in life and their work? Mm-hmm. There's a synergy between the behaviours and also the values. When you put them together, we've got a third element which is really key to Anametrics. It's one of the Rolls-Royce tools that we use, and it's called the Attribute Index. The Attribute Index measures someone's decision-making processes, how you think and make decisions daily on anything. Yeah. We put those 3 things together, and it's a synergy of that that gives you an individual excellence of where the talent is within your organisation.
Right. And for an individual, say, Chris, who's trying to get into, say, your industry or whatever, will this help them to work out their CV?
Oh, unbelievably, so much so, Jimmy. I just wish I had it when I was 20. 5 years ago it would have been great. but let me tell you, it is...
Sorry for laughing there, Chris. Yeah, sure, yeah.
But I've known Alan for 25 years or more, and the last few years he's been telling me more and more about it. I've got more and more involvement in it. It's such a powerful thing, Jimmy. It really does highlight where you need to be going, what help you need, because you know what, we're not all great at everything. Yeah. But if you can tap into the things that you are great at and have the other ones then that you can either you can delegate to or have work with to have support with it, then what a powerful thing this is. And right now, it's never been more evident that people want to invest in themselves.
But we are in recession now. What about corporations? Should they be investing in the downturn so they come out stronger at the other end?
I think the time now, globally, it's hit the whole world in terms of what's happened with the financial situation in the last few months. And then individuals within organisations are going to face different job opportunities. They're going to face different skill sets. I think it's even more so that organisations face the hardships or the opportunities that face them going forward. Let me ask you something, Jim. Have you seen this before in business where if you get a great salesperson, what normally happens to that person in the organisation, they get promoted to the sales manager? And then when they become sales manager, they're no longer too good at that. They're not a good sales manager. Yeah. They're brilliant salespeople. Well, why is that? Well, we can tell you what it is. So you get people who, I do with a lot of engineering companies, And you get engineers who are then great engineers, and then they're given a project manager's role. And they're not good at that. There's different things for different roles. And you asked a question earlier. We can identify where is your best talent suited for what industry, what job, what you want to do best. When you get that, if people do best what comes natural, you're looking at strengths here. We don't talk about weaknesses. We're playing your strengths. There's a coach in America called Marshall Goldsmith, and he sums this up in a lot of different ways. He goes, I understand what I'm not good at. I just make sure I don't need to use it to be successful. So I concentrate on my strengths. It's from there. And going forward that way, Intermetrics has done a study in the last 7 years, interviewed 197,000 people in 23 countries, of the most successful people, and say, why are you successful? We've got a whole lot of information back, Jimmy, that's fantastic, but 2 major things have came from this. One is, the people who are successful are self-aware. Their sense of self, or self-awareness, is high. The second trait is authenticity. They became authentic to their self-awareness. In other words, if you know what you're good at, and you're authentic to that, you're using it every day. That's the key for people to be successful in their life and also in their work. Because people think, my work and life are 2 different things. What you do in work affects your life and vice versa. It's together. So the fulfillment you have as a person within your working and life, it matters from there.
Gentlemen, we wish you well with it in Ireland. Great that you're involved in it as well, Chris.
Absolutely.
And just to let people know that if they want any further information, they can go to the website.
They can, yeah. Intermetrics, .co.uk. They can go from there. And then Chris, obviously, with his websites in Ireland, we're delighted to have him on board. So welcome, Chris.
Oh, it's great, Alan. It's great. And what I would say is, if anybody has an interest, I have this thing that's called an interview success guide. And if anybody would like to get a copy of that, they can have it absolutely free. Just email me, and I'll send it out to you. And it's a fantastic thing, especially just now. It's never been more apt. So.
Sounds like a great team. Guys, thank you very much.
Jamie, thanks
for
you.
Great to meet you
Cheers.
guys.
Okay, thanks.
So after the break, we will be going wine tasting with Olive. Join us for that.